In this video, I'll show you exactly how you can regain 2+ hours of quality work that moves the needle every single day without getting up earlier than you do or sacrificing your personal life or the time that you spend for what's important. Because here's the problem. This is how 99% of entrepreneurs work. You're working your ass off, but you don't see the needle moving accordingly, meaning that the work that you do doesn't correlate to the results that you see. So you are working more than the results you're getting. You are spending day in and day out doing the same work, and you never really stop, look around, and see if what you're doing is actually moving the needle or figuring out what of your actions are the ones with the most leverage that helps you the most. And most likely you haven't structured your work and you just do whatever falls into your lap, meaning that you are extremely easy to distract and you are procrastinating a lot. If this sounds like something you want to do or you want to regain even more time in your day-to-day life, then there's a free resource that you can access through my free community in the link in the description. And here's the problem with you are spending an unnecessary amount of time doing work that you shouldn't be doing. Because, as we all know as entrepreneurs, the most important thing we can have is leverage. The more leverage we have over our clients, over our time, over our productivity and our schedule, the more work, the more deliverables we can deliver to our clients, and the more work we can do, and the more we can scale, the more money we can make. I think you get the point. The more leverage we have, the more money we can make, and therefore also the bigger business we can have. And the other problem that you have is that your energy is like shit. And when your energy is shit, the quality of work follows. So if your energy is in a bad place, your work will most likely take a toll as well. And we don't want that. We want us all to be performing at the highest possible level every single time so we can get the best results for ourselves and for our clients. And this means that you are wasting hours every single day because of your system. Because they are not the way they should be, because you are not focusing on the right things, and because it is so important that what you do is actually something that moves the needle, and in your systems right now, it doesn't. Now here's how every entrepreneur should work if they want to regain 2+ hours every single day and really leverage their work so it moves the needle the most it possibly can. You need to go through trial and error. This is one of the biggest things in an entrepreneur's or business owner's journey, and it is really what we're already doing, all of us. We are already trying something out, seeing if it works or doesn't. If it doesn't work, switch it out, see what else might work. If it works, stick with it. Every entrepreneur should focus on trial and error, failing as much as possible and figuring out the best possibilities that you have. So figure out what works and filter out what doesn't work. And now this is a personal goal nugget of mine. You should be applying the 80-20 rule to all of your work. Meaning that if you aren't familiar with the 80-20 rule, the 80-20 rule simply states that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. Meaning that this is actually a 4 times ROI, meaning that 20% of the work that you do will bring you 80% of the results. So what you need to do is you need to look at your actions on a daily basis. Identify the 20% of your daily actions that brings you close to 80% of your results and double down on those. It is so simple, but trust me, it works. So if you are currently working 10 hours a day and you figure out that when you make content for your business 2 hours a day, those are actually the 2 hours that moves the needle the most, because that allows you to generate traffic, and more traffic most likely means more clients. So what you should do instead, because I know that there are some stuff that you just can't delegate to somebody else, that you can't outsource, because you can do a lot of work on your own and you can outsource a lot of work on your own, but there are certain tasks that you need to be doing even though those might not be the ones that move the needle the most. So my recommendation, identify the 20, double down on those. So instead of creating content for 2 hours a day, try to create content for 4 hours a day. That is a lot, I know, Then some of the, maybe it's administrative tasks that you do for some of the rest of the day. Outsource that. Pay a virtual assistant or a team member or whoever you have available to do that work for you. Maybe it takes them double the amount of time because they don't have the expertise or the skill level that you do, because you've been doing a lot on your own for a long period of time. So you might be able to do it twice or three times as fast as they do, but it doesn't change the fact that the work still gets done and you have time to focus on what's actually important and what moves the needle for you and your business. Now, the last thing is you should really consider time blocking and plan out the work for the day before. What this does is it mentally prepares you to actually do the work at that certain time, and it also helps you beat procrastination, because as soon as you say, okay, from 2 till 4 I'm doing this specific thing, this means that you know and you can tell other people that you are not available in those hours because you are doing this type of work. Maybe again you're creating content, maybe you're doing administrative work, maybe you are doing your client work, your deliverables. It doesn't matter. Just try to time block the biggest activities that you have and plan out the work for the day tomorrow, the day ahead. Now, here is why that's perfect for entrepreneurs. Because you are spending your time on the highest leverage activities. Again, we talked about the 80-20 rule. Now, picture this. If you are actually able to take your 10 hours of work, now you double down on your 20% of those actions that deliver you 80% of results, and you outsource 4 hours. So meaning that out of your day, if you are doing 5 different tasks for 2 hours each, instead of doing that, you are outsourcing 2 of your activities or actions. So you take 4 hours out of your schedule and send that work to somebody else, and then the work that you do instead is you double down on those 20%. So now instead of working 10 hours a day, you only work 8 hours a day, meaning that you suddenly regained 2 hours just by simply focusing on what moves the needle. Because what this also does is, as soon as you start focusing on the things that actually matter and the things that's actually important, you will start to feel way more energized. And why that's good is because that will increase the level or the productivity and the quality of your work tremendously. I simply cannot understate this. It is so important, because as soon as you start to focus on what actually moves the needle, you will also get so much better at that. So instead of, if you double down on making content for 2 hours, so now you do it 4 hours and you get better at it, you can do it faster, then you can do it in 3 hours. Suddenly you have even more hours. So it's all about just figuring out what creates the most leverage for you and then doing that. Also, another thing you can do is, let's say that you figure out that on a daily basis you are simply just spending 2 hours unnecessarily on stuff that you don't need to be doing. Remove that and only do the work that you actually have to be doing, because there's no reason to do work that you don't need to be doing. And again, like I mentioned, your energy is 10 times better because you know you are spending your time on valuable work that actually helps you and your business and your clients. This is a win for everybody. So focus on the work that actually matters. Cut out all of the things that you don't need to be doing. And the result of this, you have at least 2+ hours more every single day. And what you do with those 2 hours, that's completely up to you. You can choose to work. You can choose to spend time with your family. You can spend the time on a hobby, or I would really advise take care of your health. Go to the gym, get some good food. That's totally up to you. But just the important thing is that you will have more time, and that will give you more leverage over your own life. Now, if you want my help with this, you can join my free community below, and there's also a free training on how I can help you do all of this. It is completely free. It takes 5 minutes at the most. So click the link in the description and see what I have for you. That's it for this time, my amazing friend. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, take care and stay safe.